Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Friday, May 15th, and I am joined tonight by Boomy at Boomy TCF and Gamer at TCF Gameboy. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me at ZLiliaTCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Just type in typical Chicago fans. Follow us on there. Go to YouTube page. We are up to 60 subscribers on the YouTube page. So go over to the YouTube page, subscribe. We got a bunch of videos on there. We got a bunch of food reviews on there. We got some food reviews coming. We got a big review, drive-through review coming here in the next few days. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to the YouTube page so you're all up to date on all of that, and go over to wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. If it's Apple, type in typical Chicago fans, subscribe, rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe. They say give us a 5-star rating if you would like, please. And then if you are on Spotify, follow us on there. If you're on Spreaker, do what you got to do. Type in typical Chicago fans. You can find us on there. Shout out to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyOtter.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Mitch and Hannah Prentice, they do some woodwork. They do pottery. They just moved to a new lab, I say. So they got some new areas to be working with. So make sure you go check out themuddyOtter.com for all products just like this beautiful mug right here with the TCF logo. And shout out to Lodi Tap House. Go to Lodi Tap House. They are in Utica and Maple Park. They do carryouts, so make sure you are staying up to date with that. All their menus, all their burgers of the week or month, right?
The month, yep.
I want to correct myself on that. What do we have as full elote burger?
Yes, sir. Burger topped with some delicious Mexican
That was the
street
one
corn.
in Utica. We were over at the drive-thru, the Utica drive-thru, small business drive-thru. Make sure you go check that out too. And we were talking to the guys over there at Lodi Tap House, and they got us hooked up with a burger. We did make sure they said over the YouTube page. We did a full burger review. It was delicious. Like you said, we would eat those 10 out of 10 times. They were delicious burgers. Boomy. It was maybe Boomy's favorite burger of all time.
It's definitely in my top 5. It's in the running for top burger of all time. It might get that trophy, but it's definitely up there.
Before, Gamer said he will be going to Lodi Tap House in Maple Park this weekend.
Yes, sir. So I've been to the Utica location, but I've not been to the Maple Park one yet. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they have the same burger of the month.
No, I think it's a different one. It's a different one.
Different one. So I have to look into that. But I'm more excited about the growlers.
Yes.
I get a growler. Enjoy my night with that.
And crowlers over there. So Gamer will be making sure he gets one of those to go along with his burger. We'll see what you're gonna get over there. He'll be taking some pictures. Maybe we get a little burger review from a Game Boy over there. A solo burger review. We would love to see that. So like I said, go check out Lodi Tap House. Next week, we will get the review from Game Boy over here. But make sure you go to Maple Park and Utica locations. They are doing carryouts. They got burgers of the month. They got just great food all around. Growlers and Crowlers over there in Maple Park. Go check out Lodi Tap House. We love those guys. Go to the LodiTapHouse.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Boys, let's get into the show here. We've been starting our show for about 2 months now. Our coronavirus worry level, mine has gone down a little bit. I'm at 50%, 50 out of 100. I'm just at a point where I know there's stuff to worry about, but I also know how to stay safe with it all. So I'm kind of in the middle right now, just kind of seeing where we're gonna go with it. We're still on the shelter in place until the end of May. There's been speculation of extending that. We'll kind of see where that goes here in the next few weeks. But as of right now, I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I've gone down quite a bit, and I think it's more due to the fact that I'm, just comfortable with staying at home. I haven't been able to go out and go to the gym and working out at home. I haven't really gone to the golf course yet. But it's just getting more and more comfortable every day and finding stuff to do. So I'm sitting at a 46 out of 100 is what I'd say. And it's just like I said, it's just being able to, be comfortable with being at home and not doing a whole lot. So
it's
I'll
one of those
go
things.
down to that.
in a way, it's almost becoming normal. Like I go to
Yeah.
work, you come home, you play video games. We have our schedule when we do our content. Sometimes we'll maybe do some stuff on the weekend, like we go over to the Utica Small Business Drive-Thru. Shout out them. They do that every Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. But we go do that. But other than that, it's kind of just like a regular schedule of doing just about nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate it. I absolutely hate how
I'm getting
little
tired of it,
contact
but
I
at
have.
this point, it's like we'll just kind of wait and see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What
for
about you, Gamer?
For me personally, like I'm with you guys in the sense like I've just kind of gotten used to it. So for me, it's not a big deal anymore. Where it's like you stay at home, you do your thing, you find your hobbies. Like yeah, you get bored, but you can find something to do usually. For like the total outlook though, I'm still at about a 60. I've honestly gone down throughout the week actually, mostly because I'm still a little bit higher just because I've seen stuff like there's a chance it might not go away for a long time. Like they're saying it could never go away.
Yeah.
And it could come back, or like other
It's
states are
just
opening up. You're starting to see
crazy.
people already start to just have these huge crowds, and there's no doubt there's going to be a second wave in those states. So it makes me a little nervous for that. But for me personally, like I'm just kind of chilling. I feel fine. Like I'm not too worried about myself, like or me personally. But world outlook, I'm a little nervous.
I totally
still.
get that. It's like it's
For
one
sure.
of those things, especially where we live. It's like yes, we understand what the severity of it is and everything, but it's not like as crazy around here. We're all sheltered in place. We're not going out. Everything's closed that needs to be closed. The essential stuff are open. People are wearing masks. We're social distancing. So it just kind of seems like everything's at this point just kind of like a normal. It's like a Groundhog's Day. We're in a Groundhog's Day the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we're
100%.
Gamers at a 60. I'm at a 50, and Boomy is at a 46. So we're all about the same here on the worry level. Let's get into some baseball. We got into with it. We have the leagues are trying to do a shortened season, 80-something, 82 games. We got the DH is most likely going to be universal this year. We got all the playoff formats and everything, and then we came to a standstill here between the owners and the players here. Like we don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know what will if we're going to have a season because the billionaires are getting mad at the millionaires here, and we're someone's trying to take, or actually the millionaires are getting mad at the billionaires, I'd say, because people are thinking that that they're trying to get them out of money, and they kind of are the way that they're trying to
Yeah, they
definitely are trying to do that, and it's I think it's going to unfortunately it's going to get ugly before it gets any better because I think it's just there's a lot of egos involved with it all. I don't think the owners are going to just roll over and do what the players want them to do. So I think that unfortunately it's looking like their baseball season may not happen just because owners and players cannot come to an agreement.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for baseball this year, and it's really, really hard to feel any sympathy for the owners who are already, billionaires. And they complain all they want that they're not going to have people in the stadium, but they have TV rights, they sell merchandise, they make their money, and they're going. And that's kind of the thing right now is that the owners won't release how they're going to lose. They're obviously going to lose money on ticket sales, but they're going to recoup even more money with TV deals and licensing and all this stuff. Like I feel no sympathy. I'm with the players. I think it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous because
the billionaires are trying to squeeze every penny.
It's crazy to think though. Like yes, I understand. We want to. I know the whole yes, they're millionaires. They make a lot of money, but still, you want to get the money that you think that you are owed. And that's not the problem that I have with any of it. I don't have a lot of problem with the players wanting to get paid. Yes, I think they deserve to get paid, and the owners are trying to cut the pay in half because of what the shortened season, and they're trying to say that they're going to lose money. That if you really were going to lose money, wouldn't you just release the information right away? I think that's a weird thing to keep close to the chest, to the vest. To make to the vest.
Yeah.
Either way, here we go. They're trying to make sure that the public doesn't see it, and that just makes you more suspicious.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
and
it just drives me nuts. And I've always like been against owners, and when it comes to like stadiums and stuff like that, like them asking for public money, like they're crying poor, but then, that they're billionaires. I mean, just look at, you can find out their
Yeah.
worth on Google, and they're going to recoup the money eventually. Like the stadiums are going to be packed next summer. Like even like Marlin Stadium is going to have an increased number of visitors in the 2021 season. So they're going to recoup some of the money. They're already billionaires. They already make money hand over fist. I just feel no
Yeah, you
sympathy
don't feel
for
any
them
sympathy.
whatsoever.
Gamer, what are your thoughts?
yeah, it's very frustrating, especially like us as Cubs fans. We look to the Cubs obviously as the example, and we
Yeah.
know Ricketts' family has a lot of money. But then this past summer they came out, so we don't have enough money. Like we gotta get under the cap. We don't want to spend money on players, so we don't have it. And then they come out now, and it's like this. They're asking the players to take a prorated salary, which they agreed to, and then now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna cut that even more. Like they're trying to,
Yeah.
they're trying to take more than what was agreed upon originally. I think that's the biggest thing now, and for the players, like they're not like the big names, like they don't have to worry too much. Like they've got their money, they're fine. But we talk about the guys who are gonna be because it'd be expanded rosters. So you're talking
Yeah.
about the 30th, 31st guys on this roster who would normally be in the minor, they're not making
No.
the same amount of money. So
Right.
they're the ones that are going to struggle the most and put themselves at risk. Whereas, like the Bryce Harpers, the Mike Trouts of the world who have that money no matter what, like they're fine. Nothing to worry about. But those lower tier guys, like they're the ones who are going to suffer out of this, not the
And
billionaire owners like
with
we just talked
you think
about.
about guys who are on contract years. If you have a good first half of the season, you don't have you don't have as good a second half, or you have a better second half than first half. Like the 162 games would make a difference. And yes, you were losing games, so you're also losing opportunities to make more money going forward. So I think that I think they deserve to get their money. That kind of turned into a spinoff. The other night, Blake Snell went out and he kind of went on a little bit of a rant about the whole thing of why the players deserve to get their money and how they are all kind of at risk doing this and how they're kind of risking their lives in a way to go out and play baseball, and how the way they're taxed and how it's already, yes, I understand they deserve to get their money. The way the owners are kind of cutting the cost even more is ridiculous, and I think they deserve to get more money. But I don't think going on Twitch and ranting about it and the way he kind of went about it is the right way to do it. Maybe I just don't think that's the right way of going about it. I think you could go about it a little bit of a better way, and I understand some points, but some points kind of got crazy, like with the. I understand. Yes, you are at risk to get the coronavirus, but it was making it seem like if he got the coronavirus, it was like. Yes, there are cases where it could be lifelong stuff, but with those guys being as athletic and everything, but yeah, and you also say you're gonna be away from your families for so many months and stuff like that. What are your guys' thoughts on the whole Blake Snell rant?
I think what
I
he
can
said makes a lot
go
of
ahead,
sense.
Gamer. It's all yours, buddy.
I think what he says does make sense in the sense that there are a lot of concerns for players going back, and for someone like him, some of these guys who just earned these big contracts, to have to possibly take less than they already agreed upon, like that's a big problem. And I know it's not just Blake Snell obviously talking about it. Trevor Bauer, who's extremely outspoken about everything that
Yeah.
everything with baseball. He's not my favorite guy in the
Oh, he makes
world,
a lot
but
of
what he
sense.
says
He
makes a lot of
sticks
sense.
to what
Like
he says, and he's not afraid to say what he
yeah,
wants to say.
right,
He's not going to be afraid of like
right.
public opinion either.
And like and his point is like, think about it in your job. Like, what if your boss, or like the CEO of company, whatever, asks you to take less money, less benefits, you're gonna be away from your family for longer, like all these like not great like perks of having a job. Like, imagine like being offered that and you just having to say yes. Like, obviously you're gonna negotiate
Mm-hmm.
that the best you can. Like, you want to give yourself the best deal that's possible. So, I think like with what Blake Snell and what Trevor Bauer are both saying is like they're not saying they won't play. Period. They're just saying there has to be more like in place for them. Like they need to have more benefits for them and their families, and the money has to be better than what they're offering.
Right. I think that's the biggest. And to me, like Zach said, it's the right message, but the wrong
Yeah, there's got to be
avenue.
better ways of going
I don't
about that.
plan to go on Twitch. Someone had commented on it and he responded to it, but it's just not really the best means of getting your message out. But in the same breath, like, he yeah, I agree with him. It's like I said earlier, it's hard for me to side with billionaires and feel sympathy for them when it's already been agreed upon that they were going to take less money than they want to take even more. And the odds of, them contracting the coronavirus are not great, but also they are a little bit advanced with all the travel they're going to have to do. Now, yes, they're going to be busing on a private bus. They're going to be chartering flights, but they're still traveling from place to place. They are going to be a little bit more exposed than the average Joe Schmo like me or you. But so with that being said, I do agree with his message and what he's saying. I just don't think that's something off the cuff on your Twitch page, or I'm sorry, was it Twitch is what he was on? Yeah, I don't think that maybe Twitch is necessarily the right venue for it, but I thought he spoke, from the heart. I think I don't know. His message is right. It just wasn't.
But it's one of those things that's with the podcast, the Twitch, the like Periscope, all that kind of stuff brings that kind of stuff. Anyone can go out there and say what they want to say.
Yeah. It is. It's part of the evolving media world, but maybe especially with it being an ongoing, contract negotiation, maybe that's some stuff you don't want your people leaking out. It's just
one of those things you've been waiting for sports. You've been waiting for sports, and now what's holding it all up is money, and it just kind of sucks. But
yeah,
you also do understand in the same breath. NBA
exactly.
They had a big meeting of all the was it a player from every team in there, or what was that all about?
I think it's just the big stars like the LeBrons, Kawhi, Westbrook, Durant, like those types of players. I don't think there was that many.
Yeah, and they were kind of talking about the season, how they were going to try and go about it.
Well, especially with it being just the playoffs, you don't have to include a representative from every team,
especially the Bulls.
No one needs
exactly
a
there.
But what they're going to reevaluate here in the next few weeks. It just doesn't look like that's going in a great direction either. It's going it's one of those things that you gotta be willing to be away from families and be in a weird situation and more exposed for a certain 2-3 months or so if you're going to make a deep playoff run, and it's just, are the players willing to do that, and if they're going to, can they come to an agreement for money also?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen. Again, it's kind of the same as MLB. I'm not holding my breath, but they said they will have a final decision on the season in 2 to 4 weeks.
What a timetable.
I'm really hoping just for
a 2-week gap there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
But maybe like a Western Conference compound in Vegas and an Eastern Conference compound in Orlando. I'm okay with that. Like, Disney's not open. Just put those guys up there. Have games going on, start them at, noon and, have 3 games a day, almost like you do on Christmas. And let's go. I'm okay with that, but I'm not holding my breath. Just not super optimistic about it anymore.
There's not a lot of hope to a lot of these. There's a lot of ideas, but there's not a lot of hope in these ideas.
Exactly.
I'm actually more optimistic with the NBA because, like Boomy just said, if they're going to do 2 locations, that makes it a little bit easier to manage where they're at, where they're going to be, have a certain schedule. You could even shorten it up and say, hey, you know what, first round's going to be a 5-game series, or maybe the first 2 rounds are 5-game series, and then you can do the 2 7-game series at the end. I think that's doable. I think the only big question mark there is when you get these teams there, what if someone like a star player like a LeBron or Kawhi or Giannis gets coronavirus, they contract it, and then to be quarantined, does their team still have to play? Because you can't just cancel the playoffs then. And obviously a team like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks, who have been waiting for a run like this, they're not just gonna, they're not just gonna I don't know, wait by and see what happens with that. Like they're gonna want to push to say, no, we gotta reschedule this. Like our best player just got this virus. So I think there's a big question there, but it's really doable. I'm a little more optimistic there than I am with baseball.
I'd almost just try it. Like if
Yeah.
someone comes down and just give it a try, and if it doesn't work, then scrap it there. But I'd like to see just a little bit. Like one league almost just had the stones to be like, yeah. And I don't want to put human lives at risk, but at the same time, the number
They're worried about the money
it just
and
is
this
what
and
it
that.
is.
Like you're thinking about, you're the first of the 4 professional sports to come back to live event, even if there's no fans. You're gonna be watched by so many people. Like it's be crazy. Like I don't get why I don't see that. But it's all about the money. It's all about the money. That's what sucks about it all too.
Yep.
I just want something. I want some hope, like a date. I just want a set date of when they're going to start, and we just keep getting different dates, and this may happen, then it's not going to happen. It's just it's my heart's starting to hurt just because of that. Like I need some hope.
Yeah.
I need some hope.
And we're getting very close
Yeah.
to a point of no return with the NBA, and we're getting pretty close to that with the MLB as well. Like at some point, they've got to make a decision. Like you can't wait too long
How mad can
on
they
this.
get at each other? That's the thing. Let's move on. Boys, is Jay Cutler lazy? Because I just don't think he is. I don't think you can make $120 million and say someone's lazy. I just think this is a show that is pro Jay Cutler. We are Jay Cutler's side here because say what you want about the guy, his personalities, whatever, but to say some guy is lazy, you go to the media. I think the whole thing is weird. We're big. I'm a big Jay Cutler guy. I've always been since I thought he was a good quarterback for the Bears, best of all time so far. Hopefully, Nick Foles comes in here and wins us the Super Bowl. But I think it's all pretty wild though. Like they said they were going to keep it quiet, and then Christina Cavallari, is that how you say it? Kristen Cavallari comes out and has different stuff about how lazy he is and how the relationship was. People were going out behind the scenes that Jay Cutler wasn't as nice as he was in front of the camera. Like, no duh. Like, he didn't want to be those cameras to be around.
Yeah,
like, he didn't want to be there.
Here?
Like, where have you been? Like, have you seen his interviews before?
Dude, Jay Cutler.
He's not fake.
And like, I was talking to somebody about this today. No, and like Jay Cutler is an asshole. Like I think we can all agree to that. But like she knew that. Yeah, he's an asshole. All right, but like she's been married to him for like 10 years. She knew what he's been like. To say he's lazy now, like the dude
can't be a professional quarterback.
Got railroaded for years by defensive linemen and linebackers. I think the guy's made enough money that he's allowed to just kind of let this one eat for a little while. Like give the guy a little bit of a break here.
Play with at the Bears were pretty bad, but like I said, you can't say that the guy made $120 million as a professional quarterback and say he's lazy. Like I feel like there's got to be some sort of not laziness there, like.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He earned that $120 million. He didn't just walk into that and luck into $120 million.
TV
No, he's a damn good athlete. Yeah, he had to work his butt off, and he got drilled for years. Like he is one of the toughest quarterbacks to play. Like you can say what you want about the Packers NFC Championship game, whatever. Like that's a bad injury you can't play through. Like that guy was hurt, and since then though he played through other nagging injuries. He was the type of guy who he didn't want to slide or go out of bounds. He wanted to lower his shoulder and hit somebody. He's not a lazy guy. Plus, this is just a hiatus for him until he starts broadcasting.
Yeah,
which seems like the next step for him. So that's another thing. Like he's taking a couple years off in my book. Like I don't know. Maybe she sees it differently, obviously, but
in my book he's just taking a couple years off before he goes back. Like that's a lot of money. That's so much money if you really do think about it. Like, and he was a quarterback in the NFL. He started like. I feel like you can't, like, if you were lazy, that wouldn't work out.
Especially when her life is literally a reality show and a jewelry store, which she probably does nothing with. It's probably just people that she hired to do it for her. Like I don't know how much she really does. Like, come on, like
Oh,
she's
and someone who even got rich and famous off of just being on a
I,
TV show, like, and hasn't done
I guess you don't
anything
see
since.
how
So,
he's
like,
like his
I don't
personality on
know.
the show is kind of like you'd almost seem like he's lazy, but you couldn't be like he couldn't be, he can't be. It's not possible, not possible.
no,
Uh,
no. And when
Well,
Boomy's
even
on
if he
Jay
is,
Cutler's
like,
side,
this
it's good.
isn't something new. Like, she's been around this forever. Like, she's known. He probably hasn't
no,
changed a whole
it's
lot. He's probably, still a prick when he wants to be. And like, I'm not. I don't like personality wise. I don't think he's a great
he's a
guy. But
fine
like,
guy. He's
it's not
perfectly
like this
fine.
is 90 Day Fiance and they put a gun to her head and made her marry this guy. Like, it's I don't know. It's anytime in a divorce is going to
Well,
get
guess who you
ugly
haven't
and
heard
like
from? You
it's
haven't heard
just
from Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, he's not going to respond.
Well, this is the same guy though that was partying in Wrigleyville at Sluggers, I believe, and a guy walked up to him in the bathroom, and they were peeing next to each other, and he was like, "Hey, I went to Vanderbilt," and Jay Cutler looked at him and goes, "Don't care," and like just walked away. It's the same
Yeah,
guy.
he's a
Like,
prick.
what are we expecting from him?
Yeah, the guy's not. He's not a nice like personality. Like, but that's not. I'm not married to the guy, so I don't care. Like, it's and like I keep saying, it's not like she had a gun put to her head. The guy's been a prick forever.
Let's take it easy.
I don't know. I think it's just Hollywood nonsense. No, he's an asshole. I'm not a
Well, I
fan like of his
am.
personality, but well, that's fine then. I just
You have
And
your
that's a Bears
asshole
Packers thing
quarterback. I
too,
have
though. I
my
think 'cause I
asshole
think
quarterback.
we would say, yeah, exactly. Like, and we have Mr. Trubisky, the
I
nice
don't
guy.
know.
Look where that's gotten him.
He's not like on
Yeah.
my list of quarterbacks. He's just there right now. Nick Foles is my quarterback right now. Yes.
That's even scarier to say.
But boys, what have you guys been watching this week?
Watching everything.
So I watched a movie last week, Den of Thieves. Really good plot, about a lot of crime there. It's kind of like this I don't know, crime of like
Ooh.
bank robbers.
Is it like
Worse.
The Town?
It's a little similar, but then you get a lot more from the police side of it, and even and Gerard Butler plays the lead cop on this, lead detective, and he's kind of a broken man too. So like, there's a little bit of extra story there. He's not like a perfect like goody two shoes cop. So there's a little bit more drama there. It makes a really good story. There's some good twists there. So 50 Cent's in it. Ice Cube's kid's in it. I think O'Shea Jackson is his name.
Yep.
So yeah, good movie. I'd suggest that. And then last night I actually started a show called The Stranger on Netflix. Right now there's only one season, but it's like a British show. So they all have a British accent, which for me is just hilarious. I don't know why, but like they just say things sometimes. And I'm like, that's just awesome. And that's pretty good. It's about this lady who keeps coming up to these different families and like basically tells them this huge secret
Jeez.
that break up the family, and then like they have to like deal with it, and then they all kind of intertwine eventually, and it leads to like this big
Ooh.
investigation, all this drama. So far it's pretty good. So I'd
Love it.
suggest
Love
both
it.
of those.
Good deal.
Boomy, I need you to help. I need some help with mine.
I
It's
have-
also probably gonna be yours too. What's the Seinfeld one that's coming out?
It is Jerry Seinfeld's
So
23
it's the same
hours
episode
to
on
kill.
Netflix right now. I'll go check that out. And Peyton Oswalt. He's a funny guy. He has a new stand-up out on
Yeah.
Netflix. So a lot of funny things coming out on Netflix right now through this quarantine. Go check that out. That's Z Lils. What you watching?
And it's
So-
Patton Oswald,
okay.
not Peyton Zach. I know. I know you were a big King of Queens fan. I first started liking Patton Oswalt on that, and he's been in a lot of. He was in BoJack Horseman, I think, too. He played the Penguin agent or whatever. I'm a big Patton Oswalt fan. It's a good pull there, Zach. This week I've been burning through HBO's McMillions. It's the 6-part documentary on the corruption scandal that rocked the McDonald's Monopoly game that was so popular when we were younger. And I always wondered, like, I never really knew this story. I always wondered why the Monopoly game that we played as a kid, where you could like peel the stickers off and make a board, like that just disappeared out of nowhere. Well, apparently it was like a big organized crime thing, and this goes into how the FBI went in figuring that out. So I'm on like episode 5 of 6. I'm almost done with it, but so far it's been very, very, very captivating. I've been a big fan of it. It's on Amazon Video.
What
too,
you
so.
watching? Boomy, what's your wacky web story?
All right. We've all lived in parts where we've lost power, right? Our houses have lost power, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys ever found out that your power got knocked out because a cow tried to scratch his ass on a power line and knocked it
I
over?
don't think so.
Well, for 800 people in Scotland, that is the case. There was a 4-year-old bull named Ron who knocked over a transformer box when he rubbed his butt on it to scratch, and he just knocked this thing completely over, causing a giant power outage. 800 homes. I'm not sure exactly what town it is, but it was in Scotland. So, yeah, 3 towns were left without power. 3 towns because of one bull scratching his ass. It's an unfortunate incident, but it is kind of like you get pissed off, like, why is the power out? Why can I not get this to come back on? And then you find out it's because, a cow was scratching his rear end.
And they had to tell you the cow had a itch on its ass.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, sir, but a cow had to scratch his butt, and now you don't have power for a couple days.
That would be a tough pill to swallow there. I would.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at it, right? You get like if it was some idiot worker. Yeah, but what are you going to do? If some idiot worker, you can complain to the company, maybe get a couple of dollars, knocked off your bill. But like a cow, what are you going to do? Go slap the cow around for a while? Like, I don't think so.
And that cow's famous now, right? Sell that thing for a lot of money.
We know his name is Ron, so
scratch his ass on
good for him.
Telephone poles.
Yeah, knocked out a transformer, and everybody was sorry, guys. He's sending people back to the medieval period. So.
That's incredible.
But post-show, boys, anything? Not much going on other than we're just.
There was something I was
hoping
I can't remember what it was.
And NBA, but there's not a lot of hope. Not a lot of hope in the NHL. Not a lot of hope anywhere. We got the Korean Baseball League. We got UFC every few weeks, like twice a week, I think. What?
You guys watching Korean baseball at all?
It's like just watching some live sports if I see it, but it's kind of late, so.
Yeah,
I'm not staying up until 5 in the morning to watch essentially AAA baseball.
Something to gamble on.
I turned it on for about 5 minutes the other night.
The Dinos are good.
I'm not gonna watch the whole game.
But just hoping for some professional sports.
Did you guys see Tony Hawk Pro Skaters coming back out in September?
Yes, sir.
The PGA, the new golf game 2K21, and it's coming out in August, I think it is. So that's got Justin Thomas on the cover.
Just make putting easier, please, 2K. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a miss. I thought they should have went with Brooks Koepka, but it's all right. I can live with Justin Thomas. So it'll be a nice little.
Did you guys see the preview for that? The players.
Yeah, I think
were a little weird there. Like it did look it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a promotional video how the gameplay is going to be, but I would imagine. I mean,
they were like,
UK does a great job
on
with basketball.
Nintendo 64. No,
but it wasn't that bad.
That was pretty hilarious.
I mean, I think that's how it usually is, though. The first look at it is always a little bit worse than what it will actually be.
Yeah, make the putting easier. Are you guys going to buy the Tony Hawk game? Like, I know this. I don't know about you guys. I was not a skateboarder. I owned one, but I also lived in a gravel.
Game. Like, I was a professional skateboarder because of that game.
Yeah, you used to skateboard
like
a little bit.
Like I said, I was a professional
skateboarder
because of that game.
I remember that. But I remember my dad bought me one, and I went out in my driveway like the first day I got it. went about 2 feet on it, fell flat in my ass, and never got on it again. I was just done with it. I'm like, I'm done. This is the stupidest thing ever. But I do love a Tony Hawk
Love
game,
it.
so I am
Yeah.
all for that.
It's almost one of those things where like it made you respect the guys in the game a little bit more. You're like, I can't even ride down the street in a straight line, and these guys are doing like backflips off of a skateboard. Like that's pretty
Very
impressive.
Well, thank.
It's funny because like games like if you do you remember like MX versus ATV, those games where you race like dirt bikes and motor or in four wheelers and stuff. Like I wasn't me at all. We didn't own that kind of stuff, but I loved
So you
those
gotta
games
live
for
through
some
the
reason.
games.
Exactly. Living
Well, thank you to our
vicariously.
sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddy.otter.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Hannah and Mitch Prentice, woodworking, pottery. Check their workout. They got this beautiful mugs just like this one with the TCF. They don't have TCF logo on it, but there's beautiful mugs just like this. Themuddy.otter.com. Also, shout out to Lodi Tap House in Maple Park and Utica. They got carry out, curbside pickup over there. They got burgers of the month. They got just great food overall. Gamer will be going to the one in Maple Park for a growler, some crowler.
Yes, sir. I'll give you the rundown next
Crowlers
week.
over there. Make sure you go pick them up when you're going to get your food up in Maple Park, and then go over to Utica. We did try out the full elote burger. Me and Boomy did a full review on that. Make sure you go to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fan YouTube page, and check that out. And also make sure you go over there and get one of those. Boomy has said it is one of his favorite burgers of all time. Like I said, shout out to Lodi Tap House in Utica, Maple Park. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and go to LodiTapHouse.com. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Friday, May 15th. I have been joined by Gamer at TCF Gameboy, Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF. See, I got back on there. I kind of forgot where to go with it. The mind's thinking, boys. The mind's. It's kind of slow here. You kind of like when you sit down here for a long time, you play video games. Your mind kind of slows itself down. I feel like I've been playing.
Yes. Or
Zach,
stop.
I've known you for a long time. It's no different when you play video games.
Yeah.
True. But follow the main page at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go to the YouTube page. Like I said, we're up to 60 subscribers on there. Subscribe to the YouTube page. We got a bunch of videos on there.
Yes, please do. It took me like 4 hours to organize the damn YouTube page last week. Just subscribe to the page just for the
on there.
work
We
I
got
had.
great reviews, videos of past podcasts and stuff like that, morning show. So go subscribe to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fans. And then if you do wherever you get your podcast from, it's Apple. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review. Spotify, follow us on there, Typical Chicago Fans, and then Spreaker. Just type us in, Typical Chicago Fans, and do what you got to do on there. Anything else, boys?
Hey, Lakers are the 2K simulation champions of 2019-2020.
No.
LeBron got another ring.
Play on the virtual team.
Yes, we did. 2K Sim League just went
this is
to
the
the final.
In typical LeBron
This has been the TCF
fashion.
Morning Show, Friday, May 15th. We love you all.
Happy birthday, producer Joe. We love you all. Peace.